Over 100 million pieces of bread are made every day around the world. Among all types of bread, sliced bread, also known as sandwich bread, is one of the most popular. But how is this soft and delicious loaf actually made on such a massive scale? In this video, we'll take you inside the factory to see the incredible journey from wheat in the fields to perfectly sliced loaves ready for your sandwich. Every loaf of bread begins its journey in the fields, where wheat is grown. After harvesting, wheat is cleaned, milled into flour, and then transported to factories and bakeries, with strict safety measures taken because flour dust can be explosive. Some factories use nearly 1,000 tons of flour per week. Because they need so much, they store it in giant containers called silos. Inside the bakery, the main production line is a huge system that mixes, kneads, bakes, and packages bread on a massive scale. Some factories can produce up to 1.5 million loaves of bread every single week. The flour is pumped directly from the silos into the production area. Along with flour, yeast is one of the most important ingredients. Yeast is alive, so it must be carefully stored at the right temperature. Computers constantly monitor its condition to ensure it remains active. Other ingredients include oil, vinegar, sugar, salt, water, and small amounts of fat or preservatives. Preservatives are used to extend the bread's shelf life and prevent the growth of bacteria. Ingredients that are needed in very small amounts, such as seeds or nuts, are usually added by hand. Once everything is ready, the ingredients are carefully weighed. Then they are sent to a giant industrial mixer. The mixer has sharp blades that spin at incredible speed, up to 360 rotations per minute. For about 8 minutes, the mixer works the ingredients into a sticky and elastic dough. The result is a single massive portion of dough that weighs more than a ton. From this one batch, about 600 loaves of bread can be produced. At this stage, the dough contains a lot of water. Some of this will evaporate during the later steps of baking, but the water is essential to help yeast grow and make the bread rise. After mixing, the dough is released into a container. Then it moves to a machine that cuts it into equal portions. Each portion will become one loaf. The dough is first divided into small balls, nearly 200 every minute. These balls are easier to handle and can be shaped more precisely. The dough pieces are dusted with flour to stop them from sticking together. Then they pass into another machine called the molder, which folds and rolls them at high speed. This process creates the smooth, even loaves that will eventually rise into the familiar sandwich bread shape. The production line is incredibly fast, making up to 11,500 pieces of dough every hour. Once shaped, the dough is placed into rectangular baking molds. But before baking, it must rest and rise. Fermentation is the stage when yeast does its work. The dough is left to rise in warm, controlled rooms for several hours. The dough is allowed to ferment at about 45 degrees Celsius. This temperature is perfect for yeast activity. After 50 minutes to several hours, the loaves are ready for the final touches. Some may be sprinkled with flour or covered with seeds before baking. Fermentation not only makes the bread rise, but also gives it flavor and a light texture. Without this step, the bread would be flat and dense. Once the loaves have risen, they are placed into enormous industrial ovens. These ovens are nearly 40 meters long, longer than a tennis court. The temperature inside reaches 260 degrees Celsius. Hot air circulates around the molds to ensure the bread bakes evenly. After 20 minutes, the loaves emerge golden brown, with a soft interior and a light crust. Quality control checks are done throughout the day to make sure every loaf looks, tastes, and feels right. The freshly baked bread is removed from the molds and placed on conveyor belts. But before it can be sliced, it must cool down. Hot bread cannot be sliced because it would crumble and lose its shape. To prevent this, The loaves are sent into cooling towers, where they slowly turn on conveyor belts for 2 to 3 hours. During cooling, the bread becomes firmer and develops its standard rectangular form. The crust stabilizes, and the loaf becomes dense enough to be handled by slicing machines. When the bread is fully cooled, it moves to the slicing section. Here, giant steel blades, 2 meters wide, cut each loaf into 20 even slices. The machines can slice about 65 loaves every minute. To keep the cuts sharp, the blades are replaced every 2 weeks. After slicing, the loaves are placed directly into plastic bags. The packaging machines work just as fast, sealing dozens of bags per minute. Finally, the bread is ready to be boxed, loaded, and distributed to stores. From the start of mixing to the final packaging, the entire process takes about 5.5 hours. This incredible speed allows factories to supply fresh bread to supermarkets every day. And here we have an ice cream factory. The process begins with mixing the main ingredients: milk, cream, sugar, and flavorings like chocolate, vanilla, or fruit. The mixture is then pasteurized, which means it is heated and cooled to remove harmful bacteria. After this step, the liquid goes into special machines that freeze it while adding air, creating the smooth and creamy texture we all enjoy. Next, cups are loaded into an automated machine. The ice cream is carefully poured into each cup, with the exact same portion measured every time. Once filled, the cups are sealed with a tight lid to keep the ice cream safe and fresh. Finally, the cups are quickly frozen at very low temperatures, packed into boxes, and shipped to stores. Eggs are a versatile ingredient used in various industries, from bakeries and pastry shops to pasta factories. Need to separate egg whites from yolks. This machine can accomplish this at a speed of 220 eggs per hour. For sorting eggs, the MT8 machine excels with 12 brushes and the ability to adjust the ideal temperature between 40 degrees Celsius and 55 degrees Celsius. This machine designed to wash, sort, and separate egg whites from yolks with remarkable efficiency, processing up to 25,600 eggs per hour. Now, let's dive into the fascinating process of how instant noodles are made. It all starts with mixing wheat flour, water, and other ingredients to create a dough. This dough is rolled into thin sheets and then cut into long, thin noodle strands. Next, the noodles are steamed to cook them partially. After steaming, they go through a shaping process to form the familiar noodle blocks. To remove moisture and preserve them for a long time, the noodles are either deep-fried in hot oil or air-dried. Once dried, they are cooled and checked for quality. Then, they are packed with seasoning sachets, which contain flavors like chicken, beef, or vegetables. Finally, the noodles are sealed in cups or packets ready to be shipped to stores. let's take a look inside a factory where thousands of pancakes are made every day. Using fresh ingredients and advanced machines, the factory produces soft, fluffy pancakes that taste just like homemade ones. The process starts by mixing flour, eggs, milk, and sugar into a smooth batter. Machines then pour the batter onto large, hot griddles, cooking each pancake until golden brown. Some pancakes are kept plain while others are filled with chocolate, fruit, or syrup for extra flavor. Once cooked, the pancakes are cooled, carefully stacked, and packed to stay fresh. They are then sent to supermarkets and restaurants, ready for customers to enjoy. People can simply heat them at home for a quick and delicious meal. Over 4 million tons of tuna are produced globally each year, making it one of the most consumed fish in the world. From the moment the tuna is caught at sea to its final packaging in the factory, every step is carefully designed to preserve its quality and nutritional value. Let's take a closer look at the step-by-step process of how canned tuna is made. Canned tuna first became known in the United States in 1909, particularly on the West Coast. It was invented as a way to preserve fish for long periods without refrigeration. This method extends the shelf life of food from 1 to 5 years. The cans, typically made of stainless steel, are hermetically sealed to protect the contents from ultraviolet light, oxygen, and microorganisms. Tuna is an excellent source of protein, containing about 24 to 25 grams per serving. In fact, scientific studies suggest that canned tuna may even have more protein than fresh tuna, making it a highly nutritious choice for a healthy diet. Tuna is frozen directly on fishing boats and transported to the factory while maintaining the cold chain. At the factory, between 25 and 30 tons of tuna are processed daily. First, the tuna is received from suppliers or fishing boats, and its quality is checked to ensure it is in good condition. Next, the frozen tuna is cut using a saw, first removing the head, then the belly, and finally the tail. Before entering production, the tuna is submerged in water for an extended period to prepare it for cooking. Large trays, 14 meters long and capable of holding around 10,000 kilos of tuna, are used to preserve its flavor and nutritional value. The tuna is then steamed while being constantly monitored by probes inserted into the slices. After about 3 hours of cooking, the tuna is cooled in special conditioning chambers. This step removes excess moisture, ensuring a higher quality final product. The steaming process also eliminates excess fat, making it easier to remove the skin and bones. Once cooled, the tuna moves to the cleaning tables, where workers separate the edible meat from the skin and bones. During processing, workers carefully clean the fish, removing unwanted bones, scales, skin, and fins, while ensuring the meat meets quality standards. The way the tuna is cut depends on the type of can it will be packaged in. Alongside traditional manual production, an advanced automated system operates with 5 production lines to efficiently can the tuna. Once cleaned, the tuna loins are transferred to the canning process. The cleaned tuna loins are placed into a channel, which moves them into a compression chamber to form a cylindrical shape. Blades then cut the tuna and place it into cans. These cans are automatically filled and transported in a single line from the filling machine to the vacuum packaging machine. Each filler can process up to 600 cans per minute, ensuring long-term preservation. Next, liquids are added to the cans depending on the company's recipe. The most common options include olive oil, sunflower oil, or salt water, which help maintain the tuna's quality over time. The filled cans move along conveyor belts, where the liquid is precisely dosed before being sealed and washed. The lids are automatically placed and sealed in a vacuum chamber, where air is removed for a tight, secure closure. Human operators oversee this step to ensure proper sealing, preventing any defects. Sealing machines use steam jets for an airtight seal, processing between 100 and 800 cans per minute. After sealing, the cans are washed and loaded into baskets for steam cooking in autoclaves. They pass through a water bath to remove any oil residue before being transported by powerful magnetic lifts to large metal containers. These containers hold stacks of 12 cans by 12, which are placed in massive pressure cookers for sterilization. Each batch can process up to 12,000 cans at a time. The products, placed in special baskets, move to the next stage, sterilization, one of the most critical steps. Inside large steam autoclaves, the cans undergo a carefully controlled sterilization process, monitored by thermographic technology. This ensures the product is free from harmful bacteria and remains safe and durable for long-term storage. After sterilization, the cans are still hot and go through a cooling process. They first undergo a thermal treatment to extend their shelf life, then receive a cold water bath to regulate their temperature. This prevents any issues during transportation and storage in supermarkets. Next, the sealed cans are placed in sterilization chambers with hot steam to eliminate any bacteria that may be present inside the can or the food itself. Once sterilization is complete, the cans are washed and cooled with ice water. The airtight container prevents any microorganisms from entering and contaminating the product after cooking. Once cooled, the sterilized cans move to a quality control stage. They pass through an X-ray machine to check for bones or metal fragments before proceeding to labeling. The following day, quality control staff open random samples from the previous batch to ensure product consistency. Each production batch undergoes extensive laboratory testing to guarantee food safety. Finally, the cans are labeled with product information, packed into cardboard boxes, and prepared for worldwide shipment. Before delivery, manufacturers conduct one final inspection to ensure no cans are damaged. Some manufacturers hold on to cans for a short period to monitor for any swelling or defects. Damaged cans are never sent to market. Up next, we take a look inside a honey factory, where production is carefully managed to ensure purity and quality. The process starts when raw honey is delivered from beekeepers in large containers. First, it is filtered to remove wax, pollen, and other impurities. Then the honey is gently heated to make it easier to process without losing its natural benefits. Next, it moves through a system of pipes and tanks to ensure even consistency. Once ready, the honey is poured into bottles or jars using automated filling machines. Each container is sealed tightly to keep the honey fresh and prevent leaks. Before packaging, the bottles go through a quality check to ensure they meet industry standards. Labels are then added with important details like ingredients and expiration dates. Finally, the packaged honey is packed into boxes and stored in warehouses before being shipped to stores. This process ensures that pure, high-quality honey reaches consumers worldwide. As we continue, let's take a look at orange juice production in factory. The process starts with selecting fresh oranges. These oranges are washed thoroughly to remove any dirt or chemicals. Next, they go through machines that squeeze out the juice, separating it from the peel and seeds. The juice is then filtered to remove any pulp if needed. To keep the juice fresh, it is pasteurized by heating it quickly and then cooling it down. After that, the juice is packed into bottles or cartons, sealed and stored in cold conditions before being sent to stores. Orange juice factories follow strict quality checks to ensure the juice is safe and tasty for everyone. As we continue, these advanced sorting and grading lines for peaches and apricots are revolutionizing the industry. These cutting-edge systems ensure precise classification and high-quality fruit. They carefully sort peaches and apricots based on size, color, ripeness, and defects using cameras, sensors, and automated controls. This process improves efficiency, reduces waste, and ensures only the best fruit reaches the market. The technology also allows for gentle handling, preventing damage during sorting. From summer barbecues through bonfire night, hot dogs will never go out of style. From German origin, it has become internationally popular, especially in the United States. Hot dog manufacturing is a multi-step process that starts with the selection of premium ingredients and ends with packaging the finished product for delivery. The first step in making hot dogs is selecting the meat. The majority of hot dogs are composed of a blend of beef, chicken, or pig. Usually, the high-fat content of the meat used to make hot dogs contributes to their juicy and flavorful taste. Once the meat is selected, it is ground up and mixed with different herbs and spices to create the signature flavor of the hot dog. Seasonings including garlic, paprika, coriander, salt, and pepper. In order to extend the hot dog's shelf life, some manufacturers additionally include preservatives and curing chemicals. After the meat is seasoned, it is stuffed into casings, which are usually composed of synthetic materials or natural animal intestines. The casings keep the meat mixture together while cooking and help give hot dogs shape. Once the hot dogs are formed, they are cooked in a smokehouse to give them their signature smoky flavor. The hot dogs have a rich, savory flavor because they are usually smoked using a mix of wood chips and liquid smoke. After cooking, the hot dogs are cooled and then packaged for distribution. There are several ways to package hot dogs, such as vacuum-sealed bags, jars, or cans. Additionally, some producers wrap each hot dog in a single plastic wrapper to make consuming them on the run simple. Before the hot dogs are shipped out to stores, they go through a number of quality control inspections to ensure that they meet safety and quality standards. This can involve looking for pollutants or extraneous objects in the hot dogs, as well as testing for pathogens like Salmonella and E. coli. In addition to traditional hot dogs, some manufacturers also produce a variety of specialty hot dogs, such as turkey dogs, veggie dogs, and gourmet hot dogs with unique flavor combinations. These specialty hot dogs are made using similar processes to the traditional ones, but may include different ingredients and seasonings to cater to specific dietary preferences. The factory has the capacity to produce 5,000 hot dogs per day, supplying local restaurants with 250 hot dogs daily when in operation. And the factory operates 300 days a year. And here we have an exciting look at how the red bean cake with mochi is made in the factory. The process begins with creating the monaka shell, a crisp outer layer made from a thin baked wafer. These shells are placed on a moving production line, ready to be filled. Machines then add a smooth and sweet red bean paste. Next, a thin layer of chewy mochi is carefully placed inside each shell. Finally, ice cream is added, filling the sandwich completely. Once assembled, the red bean cake with mochi is quickly frozen to maintain its texture and freshness. After freezing, they are packed into boxes in cold storage before being shipped to stores. Pepsi is enjoyed by millions of people every day, and its production is a fascinating process. It begins with making a simple syrup by mixing purified water and sugar. This mixture is then sent to maturation tanks, where concentrates and carbonation are added, giving Pepsi its signature fizz and flavor. High-speed bottling machines fill sterilized bottles with the exact amount of Pepsi before sealing and labeling them. Packaging depends on demand, with common formats like 6-packs and 12-packs. Pepsi is also focusing on sustainability by using refillable glass bottles and increasing the use of recycled plastic. The company ensures that used glass bottles are collected, washed, and refilled for reuse. Aluminum cans, another packaging option, are made from recyclable materials. Throughout the process, PepsiCo is committed to reducing water usage and lowering carbon emissions. After packaging, the products are distributed worldwide to supermarkets, restaurants, and vending machines for people to enjoy. Over 50 billion burger patties are consumed worldwide each year. Whether served in a fast food restaurant or cooked at home, they provide a delicious and convenient meal option. But how are these patties made on such a massive scale? From selecting the meat to packaging. The process involves several steps. Each step ensures that the patties are safe to eat and taste great. Let's take a closer look at how beef patties are made on a large scale in a factory setting. The first step in making beef patties is selecting high-quality meat. Factories usually source beef from reliable farms and suppliers. The meat used in patties often comes from different parts of the cow, including chuck, round, and sirloin. These cuts are chosen because they provide a good balance of flavor and fat content, which is important for a juicy burger. Before the meat is accepted into the factory, it goes through an inspection process. This ensures that it meets food safety standards and is free from harmful bacteria or contamination. The beef is also checked for the right color, texture, and freshness. Once the meat is selected and inspected, it moves to the grinding stage. The meat is placed in large industrial grinders, which break it down into small pieces. This process helps create the right texture for the patties. Factories usually grind the meat twice. The first grind reduces the meat into coarse pieces, while the second grind makes it finer and more uniform. This step also helps mix the fat and lean meat evenly, ensuring that every patty has the same texture and juiciness. After grinding, the beef is transferred to a mixing machine. Some patties are made from 100% beef, while others may include seasonings, salt, or preservatives. If any additional ingredients are needed, they are added at this stage. The mixing process is carefully controlled to ensure consistency. Large machines blend the ingredients evenly, making sure that every patty has the same taste and quality. Once the meat is properly mixed, it moves to the patty-forming machines. These machines shape the ground beef into uniform patties using molds or presses. The size and thickness of the patties depend on the factory's specifications. Some patties are thin, while others are thick and juicy. Factories use high-speed machines that can produce thousands of patties per hour. These machines ensure that each patty is the same size and weight, which is important for cooking consistency. The formed patties are then placed on conveyor belts, where they move to the next stage of the process. To To keep the patties fresh and safe for transportation, they are frozen immediately after forming. Factories use special freezing methods, such as flash freezing or blast freezing. These techniques help preserve the texture, flavor, and quality of the meat. Flash freezing involves exposing the patties to extremely low temperatures in a short period. This prevents ice crystals from forming inside the meat, which can affect the texture. By freezing the patties quickly, factories ensure that they remain fresh until they reach the consumer. Before packaging, they go through a strict quality control process. This step is important to ensure that every batch meets food safety standards and customer expectations. Factory workers and automated machines check for several factors, including weight and size. Each patty must be the correct weight and thickness. Texture and appearance. The patties should be evenly shaped and free from defects. The freezing process must be checked to ensure the patties are stored at the correct temperature. Bacteria testing. Samples of the patties are tested in laboratories to make sure they do not contain harmful bacteria, like E. coli or Salmonella. If a batch of patties does not meet quality standards, it is removed from production to ensure that only the best products reach consumers. After passing all quality checks, the patties are ready for packaging. They are placed in plastic wrap, vacuum-sealed bags, or boxes, depending on where they will be sold. Some factories package patties in bulk for restaurants, while others create smaller packs for grocery stores. The packaging process is designed to keep the patties safe from contamination. Automated machines carefully place the patties in sealed containers, ensuring that they remain hygienic and fresh. The packaged patties are loaded onto trucks and shipped to different locations. Some go to fast food chains, while others are sent to grocery stores and supermarkets. In a soy milk production factory, the process starts when the beans are received and put into a machine. They are automatically moved and roasted. The roasted beans travel through pipes to be boiled. After boiling, the beans are mixed with other ingredients and stored through more pipes. The soy milk is then sent to the filling area, where machines automatically fill it into packs. Each pack is sealed and the expiration date is printed. The packs move on a conveyor belt where straws are attached automatically and checked for issues. Then, the products are packed into boxes. Once the right number is reached, the box is sealed. Next up, let's explore the process of making this British savory food spread called Marmite, based on yeast extract, salt, and vegetable juices. These ingredients are cooked together in large vats until they form a thick, dark paste. The paste is then carefully cooled and checked for quality. Once the Marmite reaches the right consistency, it is packed into jars. Machines fill the jars with the paste, ensuring each one contains the correct amount. The jars are sealed tightly to keep the Marmite fresh. After sealing, labels with the product name, ingredients, and expiration date are added. The jars are then packed into boxes and prepared for shipment. This entire process ensures that Marmite is made with high quality and is ready for customers to enjoy. Now, let's shift gears to this amazing process of making burger buns in factory. It begins with mixing ingredients such as flour, water, yeast, sugar, and salt in large industrial mixers. Once the dough reaches the perfect consistency, it is portioned into uniform balls using automated equipment. These dough balls are then sent to proofing chambers where controlled temperature and humidity allow them to rise, ensuring a soft and fluffy texture. After proofing, the buns are baked in large ovens at precise temperatures, achieving a golden brown crust and airy interior. Once baked, the buns are cooled on conveyor belts before being sent to the packaging stage. Some may be topped with sesame seeds before baking, while others remain plain. The buns are then packed into hygienic airtight bags to preserve freshness and undergo quality checks before being distributed to restaurants and stores worldwide. These machines cut the cheese into uniform slices, ensuring consistency in size and thickness. The slices are then arranged neatly onto conveyor belts and transferred to packaging units. Hygienic, airtight packaging is applied to maintain freshness and extend shelf life. Some factories include additional steps, like labeling or sealing the packs in bulk for shipping. This streamlined process ensures the cheese reaches consumers in perfect condition, ready for use. Over 50 million tons of tomatoes are processed worldwide every year to create a variety of sauces. However, the majority of this production is dedicated to making ketchup. But how are such massive quantities of tomatoes transformed into this beloved sauce? It all starts in vast fields where millions of kilos of tomatoes are harvested each year. Thanks to its rich agricultural tradition and ideal Mediterranean climate, Italy has become one of the world's top tomato producers. These tomatoes are specially cultivated for mechanical harvesting, with thick skins and firm flesh, to prevent damage during transport. To concentrate the pulp, irrigation is stopped 2 to 3 weeks before harvest, making the tomatoes denser and fleshier. After about 90 days on the vine, they reach peak ripeness and are ready for harvesting. Harvesting machines use sharp blades to cut the plants and transfer them onto conveyor belts. Metal spikes shake the tomatoes free from stems and leaves, which are then recycled as fertilizer. However, unwanted materials like soil, stones, and unripe fruit may still be mixed in. To ensure quality laser scanners identify and separate ripe tomatoes, which are then sent by conveyor belt to trailers moving alongside the harvester. Each trailer can hold up to 300,000 tomatoes, and the process continues until at least 20 tons are collected. After harvest, the tomatoes are transported to the factory where their transformation into sauces and other products begins. Upon arrival, they are placed in large water tanks, where high-pressure jets propel them through steel channels, washing away soil and dirt. As they move forward, a conveyor belt with slots drains impurities, while the tomatoes fall into a channel of clean water. Any stones or heavy debris sink and are removed to prevent damage during processing. Once clean, the tomatoes go through a classification system that combines mechanical and visual methods to ensure only high-quality fruit is used. Optical sensors and specialized workers identify and discard damaged, unripe, or low-quality tomatoes, ensuring that only the best continue to the next stage. To remove the skin without affecting texture or flavor, the tomatoes undergo blanching. This is done either by immersing them in hot water or exposing them to high-temperature steam. The heat loosens the skin, making it easy to remove. After blanching, the tomatoes pass through rollers or rotating brushes that peel them efficiently. Some industrial processes use pressurized air or water jets to remove any remaining skin without damaging the fruit. The result is clean, peeled tomatoes, ready to be processed into sauce, paste, or preserves. Next, the tomatoes enter the crushing phase where high-speed rotating blades quickly turn them into a smooth puree while maintaining product quality. However, this mixture still contains unwanted elements such as seeds, skin remnants, and coarse fibers. To refine the puree, it passes through sieves and filters of different sizes which remove impurities. Some processes use coarser sieves to maintain a rustic texture, while others use finer filters for a completely smooth sauce. The final tomato puree is transferred to large stainless steel cooking tanks, where it is heated at a controlled temperature. This step enhances the tomato's flavor while reducing water content, thickening the sauce to the desired consistency. During cooking, various ingredients are added to enhance the flavor and balance the natural acidity of the tomatoes. Salt is essential as it intensifies flavors and acts as a natural preservative. A small amount of sugar helps soften the acidity, creating a perfect balance on the palate. The cooking process can take several hours, depending on the recipe and batch size. During this time, the sauce is continuously stirred by mechanical systems to prevent sticking or burning, ensuring a smooth texture and well-integrated flavors. Once the sauce reaches the desired consistency and taste, it undergoes pasteurization to ensure safety and extend shelf life. This involves heating the sauce to high temperatures, 85 to 100 degrees Celsius, to eliminate microorganisms without significantly altering its properties. To preserve its color, aroma, and texture, the sauce is rapidly cooled immediately after heating. The cooling method varies by facility and may involve cold air jets, water baths, or heat exchangers. This step helps preserve the sauce's freshness and quality, preparing it for packaging. After pasteurization, the sauce travels through stainless steel pipes to the packaging area, where strict hygiene standards prevent contamination. High-precision filling machines then pour the sauce into different types of containers based on its commercial destination. Once the ketchup passes quality control, it is ready to be packaged. The ketchup is pumped into clean, sterilized bottles or sachets. Factories use high-speed machines that can fill thousands of bottles per hour. After filling, the bottles are sealed with caps to keep the ketchup fresh. Some factories use vacuum sealing, which removes excess air from the bottle before sealing it. This helps extend the shelf life of the ketchup. After sealing, labels are applied to the bottles. These labels include important information, such as the brand name, ingredients, expiration date, and nutritional facts. Finally, the labeled containers are sent to the packaging area, where they are arranged into larger packs or sturdy cardboard boxes designed for safe transport and storage. The journey of hazelnuts begins in the orchard, where it harvested from mature trees. Once collected, the nuts are cleaned and sorted to remove leaves and dirt. At the factory, the first step is thorough cleaning. Machines remove the outer husk and any remaining impurities. Advanced sorting equipment ensures that only the highest quality hazelnuts move forward in the process. Next, the hazelnuts are dried to reduce moisture and extend shelf life. Once dried, the nuts are cracked open to extract the edible kernel inside. After cracking, the hazelnuts can be roasted for enhanced flavor. Whether for snacking or use in products like chocolate spreads, the roasting process adds depth to the flavor. Once roasted or processed, the hazelnuts are packaged in various forms, from whole kernels to ground flour. Quality control is paramount. Every batch is inspected for size, texture, and flavor consistency.